Hushpuppi. He was sentenced by a U.S. court, 11 years imprisonment. I was speaking with a friend who is also a legal practitioner. He said that the sentence that was given to him was because he pleaded guilty to some of the allegations that guy, they will have given him like 70 years imprisonment. I said, but that is not Nigeria, where you have such sentences. Looking at the way this matter that started he was arrested in 2020. He pleaded guilty in 2021, and just now in November, he was sentenced to 11 years imprisonment. This matter, if you look at it, how would you view it? Is there any element of bias, or I don't know, I'm just bringing this bias because from the part of the judgment I read, or the proceeding that led to the final judgment, this man was indicted, Abba Kyari.
Yes.
But he never stood trial there.
Yes.
So what's your take?
Yeah, but the extradition trial,
okay,
which ought to have taken place, was overridden by the offense he committed again.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, because why he was indicted in the U.S. by Hushpuppi, before the federal government came up with an action, he committed another one by the NDLA.
Yes.
And when the Attorney General finally filed for the extradition trial, the court ruled that you cannot have a pending issue,
okay,
which is you're undergoing trial on a pending issue, and then you bring in this again. It cannot work. So that is why that was halted. Now, going to the Hushpuppi's case, because I went through the process from start to finish, okay, and what I could deduce from this is the guy got a very smart defense counsel.
Yes.
I mean,
I read some of his comments.
Oh my, you need to know, you need to see that, because this guy is just going to spend about 5 years or thereabouts.
5.5, if it's too much, yes.
And then the issue is that it's either he's going to seek asylum in the U.S. because he said that Abba Kyari is going to come against him and his family.
I heard that.
So it's either he seek asylum in the U.S.
okay,
or he comes back after the process. Those are the two options left for him.
Because according to what I read, after his sentence, he will be deported.
Yes, he will be deported. But he has that option to seek asylum and all that. So, but when you look at the substance of the case, the forensic evidence tendered by the prosecution were not such that he could have debunked, because they were from Fedwire transfer to internet banking transfer, and all the links were all connected to, and the witnesses and those affected, okay, they were all with overwhelming evidence to that effect. So pleading guilty to those count charges, I think, was the best option for him, because his counsel must have told you need to own up to these issues to the effect, so that what you'll be looking at is the jail term, okay, which is going to serve and all that. But beyond the jail term and the trial, which is now in the past, this calls for a lot of conversation in society. That because there's so many persons are involved in internet fraud in our society, and the only way I see government in the whole issue is the reactive approach of the EFCC by clamping down on these persons and subjecting them to criminal prosecutions and convictions. That has been the only solution government have put forward, and that is not good enough, because we should have other solutions. Okay, like looking at the labor market, the unemployment rate that is this vast and unimaginable. Okay, how can government address it? Because some of these people are recruited into scam and internet fraud because of unemployment. There's no way one can justify stealing. But at the same time, government can cushion the effect of hardship on people by providing basics for people, and then by the time you find anybody who is involved in internet scamming, you know, that person is a habitual criminal. And then you can take necessary action. Just like in Iceland, where we have zero crime rate. Now, anybody who steals in Iceland, it's two issues are involved. It's either the person has psychological issue or because there's no reason to steal. In the Netherlands and some of the Scandinavian countries, they are shutting down prisons and moving people from prison authorities, people who work in prison authorities, to other ministries, because they took a decision in the 90s, revamp the educational system and widen the employment nets. So it's unreasonable to go there and steal. Anyone who is found is just habitual. Then that person is not just convicted, but is taken through a psychological rehabilitation. You understand? So our society needs to get to that point where we look beyond the conduct of person in society. Then we look at how to provide solution by government being responsible to the citizens.
Barrister Chime.
Yes.
You know, this split bargain that Hushpuppi actually entered into, the thing paid out, because according to what I read, they said the conspiracy to engage in money laundry, that the maximum sentence is 20 years. And because he has entered that split bargain, and because of that, there was a soft landing. They even call this statutory guideline range. In Nigeria, we also have split bargain. But
how effective are we using?
Apart from how effective, that split bargain in Nigeria, you could, at the end, not go to jail.
No, you're not supposed to go to jail. In plea bargain.
But the one in America,
you are convicted.
You are. No, what I'm trying to say is that he did a plea bargain. He said, yes, I'm guilty. I did this, I did that, but I'm not fully aware. The guy, my contact person in North Korea, was the one that framed everything, met with me, or spoke with me on phone and everything. And he struck a deal with the government, the prosecuting counsel and the defense counsel. They did everything. But at the end, only the prosecution actually wanted him to go to jail for about 135 months or thereabouts. But the defense counsel was saying that, no, let it not be more than 12, 13 months, because this guy has actually come out to tell you guys that I am not aware, he's from a responsible family and everything.
Yes.
So the plea bargain, for that of Nigeria, you have actually not, what you have pleaded probably is for you to bring part of the proceeds you stole and you just go back to your house and spend the remaining one.
Yes, well, first and foremost, let me say that under our own criminal justice system, Administration of Criminal Justice Act and different states' Administration of Criminal Justice Law made provisions for plea bargain. It is in our laws, the statute books. The application and implementation is a different ball game altogether, which I'll speak on shortly. Let me highlight the fact that Hushpuppi's conviction and sentence, has once again exposed the weaknesses in our criminal justice system. It appears that every time somebody is tried outside the shores of this country, it almost always leads to conviction and sentence. But you see, in our own case, once you are connected in the society, a profile person, more often than not, you'll be allowed to go, or you pay a token and then go back and enjoy your loot. We all knows that prior to Hushpuppi's arrest, trial and down sentence, he was living a life of uzu, hedonism and lavish opulence. Nobody could challenge him on the social media space. But it's an interesting thing to see him now appears to be remorseful, But now, let me go to the real issue. Okay. What happened in Hushpuppi's case is a sentence bargain, which is a part of plea bargain. Of course, he pleaded guilty to the crime. Now, but part of the sentence bargain was that he should also provide further information that also that indicted a lot of other persons on the syndicate. So he provided, those information. He assisted the police in their further investigation other persons were arrested. Of course, we know that we heard that Abakari was also indicted at some point. So these are part of the, you know, settlement that was reached between the prosecutor and the defendant that gave him that 11 years prison sentence. So, but what this pertains to us in Nigeria is how do we utilize our plea bargain system under our laws. You know, you see that in most cases, the prosecution, you know, may not really be interested in the entire story. You know, because of the corruption. Yeah, I have to make this point clear. Because of the corruption in the prosecuting agencies, they are not angels, you know. So some of them would also want to have something by themselves. Then the criminal defendant would, of course, review certain things or some of the, you know, his escapades, you know, and then maybe promise those prosecuting agencies something at the end of the day, so they will reach a compromise and will be allowed to go. But what I'm saying in essence is that our application of plea bargain or sentence bargain, we need an improvement. The law is already there. So we need both the judges, the prosecution, the defense, everybody must be working towards an effective justice system. Of course, all over the world, the justice system is moving from punishment to, you know, it's moving from retribution, where somebody must be punished for a crime, to where even the victims will have remedies. Where you have, for instance, if Hushpuppi, you know, defrauded someone in Nigeria, at the end of the day, he reached a plea bargain. You know, he paid certain sum of money, he assisted the police in further investigation, and he was allowed to go with a lesser sentence. What happens to the individual who he defrauded? So there must be victims' remedy. Victims must be, you know, have, they must have remedy in all of this. So I think that criminal justice is also evolving. It has all of this in place, but it's about the application and the effective application of it. That is the problem.